Would you guys ever put live fish in here for enrichment for the bears?
Oh, we do.
Okay. We do take care of a live tank, a very large tank of tilapia. I talk to those fish every time I feed them.
She does.
So you're just like coaching them into what's coming?
I don't catch them out. I make Raven do it because I can't. Some of them had names, and
That's not good.
I had to torment
That's like
myself.
when a farmer starts naming its chickens and it's over.
Welcome back to Our Herd, the Toledo Zoo's official podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Corey.
I'm Caitlin.
And we're coming back at you from another great episode that we had with our Wild Toledo team. That was excellent. I mean, it was talking about all plants and everything. No animals to be found. But man, that was a good time.
Hey, there were animals. We talked about some rabbits and snakes and all the native species that benefit from the prairies that they install.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's not fair. There's all kinds of animals that are living in there.
Yes, but we did mostly talk about, plants.
Plants in their deep-rooted truths.
That was good. That was good. And now I want to plant a prairie in my tiny little apartment.
I know. And now that I've said it in that video, I definitely do have to follow up with them and get something installed at my house as well, because why not? Why not?
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about the summer heat and how hot it is outside and just how unbearable that could be.
Yeah, Northwest Ohio.
Unbearable.
Oh.
So, but we're cooling it down a little bit
there
today, right?
Yeah, we are cooling it down a little bit today. Like Corey said, it's been unbearably hot. We decided to switch things up. You guys might have seen our previous episodes where we filmed on the giraffe feed deck. That was a lot of fun. So we decided to do that again, and we are now in Arctic Encounter. It's a little chilly in here.
Mm-hmm. There's
we got
air conditioning.
Air conditioning. There's a lot of places that have air conditioning on zoo grounds. So even on like the super hot days, you can still bring your kids out here, your families out here. Cool off. We got splash pad as well.
I was about to say, does this mean we're going to be filming on the splash pad next as the
with
as
umbrellas? That's our next
umbrellas
episode.
Out? Yes,
that's our next episode.
Yep,
yeah,
keep an eye out for it.
We're gonna talk with some really fun chili keepers today. You guys probably recognize the spaces that we're in. Like I said, we're in Arctic Encounter, and we're gonna be talking with our iconic and amazing dynamic duo, the Arctic Keepers, Raven and Ashley.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Oh, you guys are cute. You're in sync. Kind of.
We're a package deal.
Sometimes.
That's why we wanted to have them on. They're such a fun package deal. They're just like Blake and Joan are hoofstock keepers. And so we just thought it'd be super fun to talk to you guys.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Cool. So let's go over a little introduction period here. So Raven, I'll start with you. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself. What do we need to know about you?
Yeah, so I'm Raven, one of the Arctic area keepers. I've been here at the Toledo Zoo 8 years. Just had my anniversary last month. Awesome.
Happy anniversary.
So yeah, and I work with polar bears and a couple other animals, but I'm excited to talk to you guys about all the animals we work with for sure.
Great. Ashley, what about you?
I'm also excited. My name is Ashley. I've been at the zoo for 10 years, but I've been in the large mammal department for 7 years. I really enjoy it here. As Raven said, I'm her other half. So I'm the other area keeper for Arctic. We've actually been working together in Arctic for 4 years. So that's been a fun ride. So we're really happy to talk to you guys today.
And every time that we bring zookeepers on, everybody's so interested. How in the world did you guys get into this position? Where did you guys start out? Where did you guys go to school? Like, they all want to know, how is it that you become a zookeeper? Raven, what did your path look like getting to this point?
Yeah, so that's like a loaded question, but so I started in 2013 with an internship at another Ohio zoo. I knew early on I wanted to do animals, so I was like, what are my options? But doing that internship like kind of exposed me to like the vet side, animal ambassador side, zoo teens and all that stuff that a lot of zoos offer, like we do here at the zoo with our zoo team program. So I did my internship. I ended up loving working with the keepers and the animals there. So I told my mom, I was like, Mom, this is it. Zookeeping is what I want to do. I got hired as a temp, and then I just kind of waited until there was opportunity to get a full-time position. And here I am at the Toledo Zoo 8 years later still.
Wow.
Excellent. We're glad to have you here.
Yeah. What does your education background look like?
Yeah, so I got a BS in biology of animals. So a lot of places offer like a zoology degree directly, but I just went with anything that was kind of like biology, animal science related.
It's the first time I heard it referred to as BS.
Oh,
It's a bunch of
biological
BS.
sciences.
Biological sciences.
Yeah, versus a
It's bunch
Bachelor of
BS.
Arts.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. And were you immediately in the Toledo Zoo? Did you start at other zoos?
No, yeah, I started at Cincy Zoo, and I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio, so that's our closest zoo.
Mm-hmm.
So Cincy Zoo, and then I kind of stayed there until an opportunity popped open in another Ohio zoo, and Toledo Zoo being close by, and another great zoo I heard. So I came up this way and been here ever since.
Nice.
Here you are.
Yes, I am.
Stuck with me.
Forever.
Yeah. Ashley, what about you? How'd you get into this chair today?
So
Forcefully?
at will, I promise. So I was a senior in high school. It goes back to a senior in high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And honestly, I've had horses since I was in high school, and there really wasn't much for career choices in horses. So I was like, well, I want to work with animals. I like animals more than people. Besides you. You're great. And so I wanted to work with animals, and I kind of just looked at colleges, and I looked at Michigan State. They had a zoology degree. So I got a bachelor's in biology, concentration in zoo and aquarium science from Michigan State. Go Spartans. And after that, I did a part-time, well, actually during college, I did a part-time position at the zoo in Lansing, Potter Park. And then from there, I did an internship in Houston. So I went to Texas. I had never been to Texas. So that was kind of a fun journey for myself, being just out of college, and moved to Texas for several months. And then from there, I worked here part-time in a different department, a non-animal department. So I do have an appreciation for all the non-animal personnel here, because I know how much work they put into the zoo along with animal caretakers. And I also then worked part-time in Indiana, and I worked part-time in Toledo.
Oh my gosh.
So I worked 7 days a week. That was a good time. I'm no longer young. Not about that anymore. So I prefer my weekends these days. And then once I got full-time here, I stopped working in Indiana. So, and then that put me as a night keeper. So I worked with a lot of different animals. I worked at different times. That was great. And then I became full-time, and that's when me and Raven took on Arctic.
Oh.
Yeah.
We
Together.
definitely want to do a podcast episode with the night keepers, but you being
Yes.
a previous night keeper, was that scary for you?
Oh, no. It's seeing the zoo when no one's here and at night is like, it's really special. I learned a lot from that position, and you get a better appreciation for all the different departments. Because I feel like if you're just in large mammals, you just see what we do. But being able to be a night keeper and you hop around everywhere else and you help out everywhere else, you kind of get a really well-rounded look into what everyone does. And you appreciate all the different departments, like I said, and you appreciate the maintenance staff that comes and helps you in the middle of the night if something doesn't work out. So I loved it. It's great at night, especially during LBC, during the lights.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you just walk by yourself in the dark with just Christmas lights. It's very magical.
Oh,
So I did love that.
that's cool.
I didn't really have that feeling when I first got when I first got my job, and I was finished photographing some event that we had at the nighttime, and I was walking through grounds alone in the middle of the night, and I'm telling you, that first week I was convinced that a tiger was going to pop out of the corner and just maul me at any moment. It was a terrifying experience.
Yeah.
Your senses become so heightened. Like any little noise, you stop and you just look around. But I didn't really, thankfully, ever have that fear. But it definitely, your senses are on high alert at all times. My favorite moment was when I thought there was a cat on grounds. It was not a cat. It was a skunk. And I approached it, like kind of be like, shoo, cat. And it was a skunk. And then I instantly stopped and I just turned around. I was like, you do you, man.
So you didn't get
Be
skunked.
free,
That's
skunk.
good.
Do whatever you want.
Just don't go in with the tigers. 'cause
Yeah.
then
Please don't.
skunk no more.
Skunk no more.
And I don't want to clean that up.
Everything's gonna stink. Everything's gonna stink.
No one's having a good time.
Dang. So you guys both kind of saw the zoo as a whole, and then now you're specifically Arctic keepers. Animals kind of they vary differently. What specifically are you guys taking care of in Arctic?
Man. Let's see. Well, obviously the polar bears. Then we also have our seals. So we have gray seals and one harbor seal, and then our sea lions. Strangely enough, cheetahs are in there. I know. Weird.
I did not know that they were in the Arctic.
They're in our Arctic.
Mm.
Yeah. So we take care of basically any carnivore species on the north side of the zoo.
Okay.
And then we also have the wolves and our lovely bald eagles.
And the bald eagles.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that you'd be an Arctic keeper working with birds and cheetahs?
Not at all.
No?
It was kind of like a bonus plus, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, this mixes it up a little bit for us.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to get into that. So like when you guys got into this field, did you guys imagine yourselves working with a particular animal group?
Mm-hmm.
And has that changed? Like,
yeah, because
compared to how
every
you are
keeper
today?
that we've talked to has said like, I wanted to work with dolphins and now I work with elephants. And like, I want to work with tigers and now I'm working with crocodiles. So what animal did you guys want to work with?
I'll go
I already
first.
know her answer.
I always wanted to work with tigers. Tigers are my favorite animal still to this day. Growing up, I was like, Mom, I'm working with tigers. She's like, that's dangerous. I'm
Did
like,
that scare her?
That's where I'm going. No, but thankfully when I got the job here at Toledo, when I first started, that's kind of where I ended up being. So I got to work with our big cats and Trudy over there. And she's been here so long. She has such an experience with big cats. So she kind of took me under her wing, got to do all those things. And I was like, this was fun. What else is there I can do? So like over time, you kind of like learn to enjoy all the animals under our care, from the hoofstock and even the birds. It's weird how your mind changes. So yeah, no, I'm super happy where I ended up. I love the polar bears as much as I love the seals and sea lions and everything else.
Cool.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
thought you were pointing at me.
Yeah. Also,
And
Ashley.
everything else.
Everything else.
So I did like a short stint with ambassador animals as a part-time keeper. And I really enjoyed that because it's very hands-on. You get to educate people a lot. You get to go out and just kind of be with guests. And that's really rewarding. You kind of see that impact for little kids. And now that I have kids, I have a greater appreciation for that. But I actually worked with birds and hoofstock for a while at another facility, and I loved it. My favorite animal of all time was, Crystal, was a pelican.
A pelican?
Oh my gosh, they're the best. So yes, I had the pelican. So I was like, I'm just gonna be a bird person forever. Then when I got here, my first area was actually Arctic, which is interesting because I've never worked with carnivores before. And they're like, here's Arctic.
Here's this giant bear
Here's this
Here's
giant
the
polar
largest
bear.
carnivores we have here at
that,
this
will,
zoo.
that will eat your pelican.
Yeah, and I love them. I think in that point of my, or like even now, like that pelican was such an impactful animal in my career that I think he'll forever be my favorite animal.
Aw.
Even though I absolutely love the polar bears, I love our pinnipeds. But yeah, I thought it was going to be a bird and hoofstock person, and it turns out I'm a carnivore person.
That's cool.
Really-
Love working with carnivores.
Really quick, I just had a dumb person moment. What's a pinniped?
A pinniped.
Oh, it's going to be our seals and sea lions.
What does pinniped, is that just like the broad
Is
name
that just
for
like
them?
their classification?
It is the proper term is flipper-footed, or it's
flipper-footed.
Oh, no.
I like that term.
Flipper-footed.
I get that term.
The actual like pinniped.
Pinnipedia
Yeah.
underneath that. It means,
We
I
got
think it
Google.
is like
I
flipper footed essentially.
don't think that's the proper.
It's not the.
He's over here like,
Let's do a
Yeah.
fact check on
Yeah,
does
do a search on that.
Pinniped mean? Pinniped is seals, sea lions, walruses, and pinna, which means fin or flipper, and ped is foot. So
Yeah.
you're right.
flipper-footed.
Flipper-footed.
Yeah.
I like
Fin-footed.
flipper-footed.
I was like, you're making it
Flipper-foot.
out myself. So you're
Flipper-footed.
flipper-footed.
Dang.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
I just had to know.
Alright.
I could have assumed and I could have guessed what you were talking about, but I just needed
Yeah.
that clarification.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, before we get into, obviously the polar bears, which is one of the biggest reasons why so many people love the Toledo Zoo. Is
Yeah, we
because
got to make
have-
sure that they listen to the rest of the episode first.
Right, right. So polar bears are going to come soon, but let's talk about the pinnipeds. Tell me, who do we have on exhibit here at the Toledo Zoo? Introduce us.
Yeah, so we have our big male gray Spike, our female gray Patty, and then we have our little harbor seal Fritz.
And then on top of that, we have our 4 California sea lions. We have Penny and Sky, which are sisters. And then we have their offspring that are now adults. We have Storm and Phoenix.
I love the seals and sea lions. They are so fun and interactive, and they're so intelligent.
They are.
You guys do sea lion shows, educational shows for the public during the summer every day, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every day at different times.
Yep.
Walk me through training a sea lion. Is that hard?
Yeah. Had you guys done that before these guys had arrived here? And like, I feel like that's just such an intimidating thing to go about doing.
It definitely was for me. I had never, prior to working here, I never been around a seal. So when we used to have like 6 seals when I first started, that was a new experience, just being around water and such like that. So I had to get used to how big Spike was. He was kind of intimidating to me,
Yeah.
but he's such a sweetheart. He's a big old puppy dog. And then when we got the sea lions, I was like, Ashley, I know you've been around sea lions. What's that like? And she's like, they're faster. I would also argue a little bit more like smarter in the sense that they need a lot of stimulation, which we definitely see when we're training or trying to get them to do enrichment, things like that. So Ashley had a little bit more experience than I did, but I was happy that she was there to kind of guide me, and she still guides me to this day. So
yeah, witnessing you guys working with them, they get super intense. Like they're just intense. That's the word I can best.
for
And
sure.
I feel like they already know what you're going to say before it even comes out of your mouth. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, they can definitely learn like your body positioning. So for us as trainers, and even like as we're training other trainers, we have to make sure everyone's really aware of what they're doing with their body, like all together. Like a shift of weight can even just kind of signal to them like what you're going to ask for next. And we don't want them kind of guessing the next behavior without actually asking it. And we don't want them anticipating the next thing without actually being asked it. So it definitely works you like mentally, because we have to constantly be on our game to make sure that we're doing right by them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't have a lot of sea lion experience before. I did an internship for several months, but it was a lot of like visual. I watched them. I got to kind of do some of that enrichment. But I wasn't like handling them and I wasn't training them, but I got to watch like 4 months worth of just people training, which I feel like I picked up a lot from that.
I think you did. You guys out there are so
did.
cool. I'm just like, okay, the best trainers I've ever seen.
What types of behaviors are they learning from you guys out there? Like, is it all kind of towards like vet care and being able to care for them, or is it stimulation? Is it a mixture?
Combination.
Okay.
Yeah. So we like to do a lot of husbandry, a lot of vet care stuff, kind of preparing them for any kind of vet care that we can give them just to make sure it's voluntarily. So we do go in with them for our sessions. So we have a bare minimum of 4 sessions a day. When they first got here, we were going up to like 8 sessions in a day.
Whoa.
And when you think about all the other animals we take care of, it's very time consuming, but it's very rewarding. So like just to see them from like when they first got here to where they are now, it's been a great run. But yes, we do different medical stuff. So we have like lean behaviors. They came in with those ones. We have like where they lay on their backs. We can see their undersides. We have some tactiles where we can touch. We can check all their flippers. Like I said, a lot of that did come from their previous facility, because just in general in zoos, we want to make sure that we have good training to kind of help that vet care, make sure it's all voluntary. So they came with a lot of stuff. We just kind of built on that. We have those fun behaviors to keep them active mentally and physically, just to make sure they're nice and healthy.
Are there certain behaviors that are your favorites? Things that people might find hilarious? And I'm asking this because we've made a few videos with you guys over the fun behaviors that they can do.
Yes.
I feel like everyone gets a riot out of the sticking their tongue out.
It's so cute.
Yeah, usually at the end of my shows, because it's not really in the show, I'll have Phoenix turn around and she'll face everybody and she'll stick her tongue out. And I usually get a lot of chuckles and points from parents showing the kids.
I like when they smile and they
Yes.
get that evil face.
That's what
It's so
They got the. Is that to like show off their teeth so you guys can see them more?
I
More of a
mean,
fun behavior.
it's just fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can like see their teeth when we like do open mouth
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. I think because the main ones that do smile right now are Sky, Phoenix, and Penny, but all their smiles are so different. So like Sky's got like that very conniving evil one, and Penny's is like, I can't see, but am I doing it? And then Phoenix
Occasionally an eye
has
pokes open while she's doing it.
That's
Oh,
true.
you're still asking?
but Phoenix's is to me the funniest. Do it. She does it so well.
I can't do it. No.
It's like this like little lip lift. And it's like, I think I'm doing it. I'm still cute, right? And it's like, you're adorable. I
Oh,
love that.
that's
She is so cute.
Yeah.
She is.
Oh.
I will agree. Phoenix is the cutest
is the
sea lion
cutest.
for sure.
Yeah.
We also have like a fish holding behavior that finished, and that is adorable. She just holds the fish in her mouth,
Oh,
and it's just adorable because
Dang.
Phoenix is adorable
she's adorable.
all the time.
I agree.
One thing I've always found interesting is that one of our gray seals are blind,
Mm.
correct? What is that
Patty.
like working with a blind seal?
Patty.
No hate on Patty.
Sweet old
Sweet.
Patty. She's up there in age as well. So we have to make sure that we don't just baby her, because she can do all the things. You might not think that she can do all the things. She can do all the things. And she knows she can do all the things, but she also knows that some keepers just love her so that she can do less and just get fed. No, she does all things. She comes up, she does all the same training that our other sighted gray seal does, all the same things that our sighted harbor seal does. She gets around just fine. She does listen to her name, so she knows her name. So as soon as you go out there and you call Patty, she'll come a swimming.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
And making her way around the exhibit, does that have a lot to do with like their whiskers and other sensory?
Yeah. She's got great senses. The waterfalls are a big thing. So we've had one time where the waterfalls were off and Patty seemed a little lost. So, and that was just for maintenance reasons. And they came right back on and Patty was found again.
I found myself.
She's like, here I am.
Yes, their vibrissae is a heightened sensory tool for them. So they pick up vibrations along with actually feeling. So yeah,
Cool.
they'll use that to navigate. But she also hears really well. So if we tap their target pole on the rocks, she will listen to that and then she'll find her way. So she's not running into walls or anything.
Awesome. Yeah, I always like bringing Patty up because I always
Yeah.
find that to be impressive. Like
Yeah.
it's a blind animal that is just as able-bodied as
Yep.
the rest of your animals on exhibit.
Yep.
Go, Patty.
Yeah.
Go Patty.
She's
Go
great.
Patty.
Patty's great. She's like a team favorite.
Aw.
For sure.
She really is. She's makes her way into everyone's heart.
Sweet, sweet Patty.
And then we
Sweet,
can't
sweet
forget little Fritz.
Oh,
You only, what's Fritz like? He just sometimes will just float around like a little bobber.
I was working here for like 4 or 5 years, and there was a day where Fritz wasn't. He didn't look like he was fritzing.
we get a lot of
And
radio calls about Fritz
I
not
started
fritzing.
giving you a radio call, and in the middle of the radio call, he twitched a little bit. I'm like, never mind. I'm so sorry. I hate being that person.
It's honestly one of my favorite calls. We still will respond to all of the Fritz calls. We still come out and check on him,
Yeah.
but he sleeps in the rock work.
Yeah.
So he will sometimes lay on his back right in the window and just have a crevice there, and he's just out. That he's taking a seal nap, which is deeper than a cat nap, and he's gone.
It's a deep.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't look like he's
He's not fritzing anymore.
He's not
He's
fritzing.
not fritzing anymore. He's definitely gone viral for
Yeah.
that. So.
Yeah. No, he's great. He also likes to go right where the filter is by the corner. So if you've ever, it's probably even better than the sleeping Fritz, where he just lets all of the water beat on his blubbery chest and it just like vibrates and his head's like shrimped in and he's just doing his best Fritz.
I
I'll have
want
to keep an eye out for that now.
I want to be like Fritz.
on your
like Fritz.
on your cameras,
speckled
you'll be able to see
sausage.
he does it right in front of the underwater
Do
camera.
like super slow motion where you
beautiful.
just get all
Yeah.
the ripples.
Oh,
It's
it
under
is
the
fantastic.
underwater camera.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so we do have a live
Oh.
stream on the Sea Lion
Yeah.
exhibit. So y'all, if you want to see Fritz getting a massage,
I live for the Fritz water massages. It's just
Yeah,
tons of
check
fun
it
to
out.
watch.
It's on YouTube.
Very cute. Great.
Oh.
Well, it's not just these seals and sea lions. We've got so many other animals to talk about. What should we talk about next?
I think we
Maybe-
should talk about the polar bears. Honestly, let's get
Okay,
into polar
okay,
bears.
We can get into polar
Let's give the
bears.
people what
Dive
they
in deep.
want. So we have 2 polar bears currently here at the Toledo Zoo. But before we had 3. Well, we've had so many polar bears here at the Toledo Zoo in general. And the Toledo Zoo is one of the top zoos, if I'm not wrong, in breeding polar bears. When you guys came in here, who was here and how has it changed to where we are now?
Yeah, when I started, it was Marty, Crystal, and we actually still had Hope, Crystal's daughter at the time. And then she went off to where she is now and other zoos for breeding purposes or whatever it may be. And over time, Crystal has continued to have lots of little ones. So it's been fun to kind of see how, as she's gotten older and with our bear setup and our bear groups that we've had, how she is with the kids, because they're all so different, whether it's a singleton or if we actually have twins. And twins are actually the most common for polar bears, which is what we had last time with Kallik and Kallu. So when I started, it was Crystal, Hope, and Marty. What about for you?
So Hope was gone by the time I started. So it was just Crystal and Marty, and then Bo shortly after. So I was able to watch Bo grow up because I was a swing keeper at that time. So I didn't work here every day, but I did have several days a week that I got to hang out with polar bears.
That's awesome. And Kallik and Kallu, they are probably some of the most popular animals that we've had here at the Toledo Zoo. I remember the day that I found out that they were born, the area manager had showed us a photo on like the den cam, and they are so small when they're born. Tell me about that. Like, what does the breeding process and then the denning process look like for Crystal or just female bears in general?
Yeah, so they go through their breeding period, right? So we had Nuka here actually with Crystal, and we kind of like listened to them After the breeding period's over, Crystal kind of like does her thing, and then she's like, "Okay, goodbye. I like to be on my own." A very independent bear, and she kind of like will start like gorging on food. So we'll kind of pay attention to how much food she's leaving, or if she's leaving nothing at all, and she's like, "Give me more." So we give her more food. She'll pick up weight, and like polar bears have what's called delayed egg implantation, which means the body won't drop the egg until it knows that the body can sustain that life.
Wow.
So even if they breed, we actually don't know if they're pregnant. It is a surprise for us, just like it is for everyone else. So yeah, and so over time, Crystal will gain weight, and then she'll kind of start slowing down in her activity, and we'll move her off exhibit. And we actually have a lot of space inside, so she'll slowly start picking her areas she wants to hang out in, which is usually the dig yard and pool stall often. And then we have what's called the birthing den, and we'll set that up with a lot of straw. And she'll come in there, and then she's like, "You can close the door. I'm going to just nap in here for who knows how long." And we'll close the door. And then from that period on, every day, we're just checking to see what she's doing, if anything's happening. We do offer food. She'll have water. She can do whatever she wants. Sometimes polar bears don't eat the entire time they're denned up. So in the wild, they don't eat at all.
Oh my gosh.
In our situation, Crystal sometimes likes to do a little snack here and there. So we do offer that as well. And then every day as they're checking cameras, it's kind of seeing and waiting. I was not here the day it happened. Ashley was.
Ooh.
And she called me and she's just like, "Listen to this." And I'm like, "Oh, there's cub." She's like, "There's two." And I was like, "Get out of here." So that was super exciting. Yeah. And we were so thrilled that she had two, especially at her current age. So she is an older bear. She had them when she was 24 and a half. So she is up there, but like Crystal's in such great health. And so totally sustainable to be able to care for the cubs. But watching the dynamic with her at this age with two cubs was interesting. She was a little bit more lax. So they kind of like were a little bit more independent. Off doing their own things, learning how to climb, learning eventually how to swim.
That was funny to watch.
For sure. I don't know if everybody was following along, but we do have like a pool insert for the indoor pool. And that's kind of like where we make it into a kiddie pool for them to learn. Kallik took to the pool pretty quick. Kallu, which was the bigger one, he was a little afraid for a while. And in the past, Crystal usually just knocks her cubs in the water. It's kind of like sink or swim. You got it, kid. But yeah. Polar bears are buoyant, so they're going to float. But it was fun throughout the process to kind of just watch that navigation for sure.
And that was really special for everybody in the community because we live streamed that entire growth
every single day
for pretty early on.
Yeah.
And that was just a really special time for everybody, I think, because we all got to watch the same den cam that you guys are watching to monitor them. And just slowly seeing that growth pattern until they started to swim and eventually got out here on exhibit.
That was so fun. The fan base that these boys had was just crazy. I never would have thought that Kallik and Kallu would have such a big fan club. And when they came out for their first exhibit debut, this building was packed. There was a line out the door. News stations were here. It was a really fun time. But for you guys, what is it like caring for polar bear cubs? I know in the beginning when you guys like get a hold, you actually will go in there and get a hold and like a check on them, get the sex and everything. What's that like?
The entire process is really fun. So even though we've been around Crystal's past cubs, this one was this was like a good thing for us because this is our first one that was like, we were the area keepers of it all. So it was really rewarding. We kind of went in with like a goal of like, all right, you get the little one, you get the big one and kind of deal. Crystal was a rock star. We actually start to kind of have like a separation training. We feed her in a different space without closing the door and kind of acclimate her to that, to build up to that day where they get their first vet exam. And the whole thing was rewarding. It was great. And just to be able to say that you've held a polar bear was really cool. Though it be really just for veterinary care. And it's very quick. It's a very quick process. Like you don't just go in there, you're not cuddling with a bear by any means. Like you're just going in there, they do the vet exam and then you put them back. We get weights and you put them back.
It was either me or you that
were
were
in
taking,
there, yeah.
Okay, we were taking photos of it and the bears the whole time. They're like, what is happening? They are just, whoa, all these, because at that point, they had never seen people before, especially for that first one.
Right.
Like, what are all these aliens doing here?
Aliens.
I'm
But-
sure that's exactly what we look like to them. Like,
Exactly.
Mom.
First of all, where's my mom?
Right.
Second of all, you all look like aliens.
We were
Yeah.
just
But yeah,
those
you're right.
floating
Like,
voices all that time talking to Crystal. So they're like,
Yeah.
those are the weird
God, is that
voices.
you?
What's happening?
God, scary. Oh my gosh,
but,
that's so
yeah,
fun.
all fun, and it's again, it's very fast. It's completely
Mhm.
necessary. We just need to make sure that
Yeah.
they're okay, they're properly vaccinated,
Mhm.
and we want to know the sexes. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we like walk through this like verbally beforehand. So it's like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
So like we go in there, everyone has their job, everyone knows their job.
Yeah.
And then you just
Bam, bam, bam.
get everything done as quickly as possible.
yeah, you could probably get
yeah.
a stopwatch on that. It's well
very
under
quick.
5 minutes. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it
It's
was super
very
quick.
quick.
And I think even when they were that young, they're still strong. Like that's
They were
why I
still-
was like, they're not cuddly. They're still ferocious little bears.
They're not.
That's the other point
Yeah.
because everybody, like you just asked, like how soft were they?
Are they
Like,
fluffy?
they're
They
not
are-
cuddly.
They're
They're not
fluffy
cuddly.
on the fur, but man, are they like, "Ah," they're trying to kill you basically. They're like,
Yeah.
get off of me.
Yeah, yeah. But then once they get a little bit older and they come out of the den, you guys start to build a relationship with them for
Right away.
training. And
Yeah.
then they were here for about 2 years and watching them out on exhibit. One of our most viral videos, we'll insert that now, is which boy was it? Was it Kallik or Kallu that jumped off the rock?
Kallu.
Yeah.
Kallu was up on this rock up here and there was a bunch of summer camp kids and they were like, jump, jump, jump. And he jumped in. That video went completely viral. Like news stations were playing it. And yeah, that was
I think
a lot
it's
of
still
fun.
our biggest video.
I think it is. Yeah. Millions of views. So
They
what
give
was
the
that?
people what they
Yeah,
want.
exactly.
Yeah.
What was that like, training cubs and not rearing because Crystal is a
Yeah.
great mom and she did it herself, but helping.
It was so rewarding.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to train youngsters.
Plain
And-
slate.
Yeah. Clean slate bears. It's really easy. Right away, yeah, we were getting them used to just eating from tongs and eating from us. Crystal was great. She would like literally have a boy on each side, and she would just want to occasionally also ask for trained behavior to also get all the snacks. But it was great. And then even as they got older, we could train them the boys next to each other, and we can separate Crystal and train her separately. Like the doors weren't shut, but she would kind of pick to go to her own den because she kind of liked being by herself at that point. But yeah, they picked up on behaviors right away. They knew how to sit, they knew how to lay down, they knew how to open their mouth, they knew paw presents. They knew how to stand and without like luring them or anything. So it was great, very rewarding. They were very intelligent, and Crystal learned. You can teach an old bear things as well. Crystal learned her sit down and lay down in her 20s. So yeah,
Wow.
it might have taken her 20 years, but we got it. It was great.
So I'm going to take my
And it
time.
felt so rewarding for me. I think it was honestly training Crystal something new was probably more rewarding than training the boys, just because it's easier with a clean slate.
What type of behaviors are you guys training with polar bears, and like why are those behaviors so useful?
Yeah, so throughout the zoo here, we really focus on vet behaviors just to make it easier on the animals as well as us and our vet staff. So a lot of our training will be like opening mouth so we can see their dental health and oral health, laying down so they can get like blood on them, standing up. That also helps like seeing how their joints are and things like that over time, just as an animal gets older, just like your dog, to see how they're doing. So we do a lot of those vet behaviors. I think with the boys, Ashley did like a cute little behavior with Kallu, which at the time I was like, what is that going to do for us? But she's like, well, it's cute and I could turn it into something, which honestly, I think it did kind of
That's
help.
my training brain. I'm like, this can turn into something.
Yeah.
Like if I can capture something, I'm like, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put on. What was it?
Well, yeah,
Or which one are you talking about? Because I had a
Oh,
couple.
she's got a few. She's got multiple. She's been doing all these
I had
things.
retrievals on Kallu. Is that what you're talking about?
There's that one.
So
and then,
Kallu would actually retrieve. I have children, so I would, in my like motherly voice, can I have it? He would bring me things. So I was like, can I have it? It started off with him just giving me sticks. And then it turned into kind of just like he would retrieve things for me, which I thought, I don't know, it could maybe become something if they were to take something. But it more so was just, that was more like mental stimulus. Like he would bring me sticks. And it wasn't just like, I'm going to poke it through the mesh with my mouth. He would also put it on, if I couldn't get it through the mesh, he would put it on the ground and then he'd shove it onto the door,
Aw.
like take it. And then you can also like toss it and he'd bring it back. That was mental stimulus. But he also learned how to roll over, like completely on his back.
Wow.
So if you tell him to roll over, he would completely roll over on his back
You
and
see his
just
belly.
like have his head at you and just lay there. And then he would sometimes, if you'd like have him roll, he would roll completely to the other side. The idea of that was just kind of like a underside present. If you couldn't have him stand, you can still see his underside completely if you have him roll all the way over. So it's kind of another method for seeing his underside. So usually we look a lot from their stands, but you also know to sit, and they also know how to sit up. So like have their butt on the ground and then just their paws on the mesh. And then there was like variations of sits as well. They knew all sorts of things.
That's
Cool.
so cool.
Yeah.
Now, another aspect of your guys' job is to not only help, monitor Crystal as she's rearing these cubs, training these cubs, but also having to learn how to say goodbye too.
Oh,
Because
that was
our
hard.
cubs, Kallik and Kallu, recently had left the zoo. Yeah, what is that all like? And when it comes to being an animal professional,
Emotional.
what is it like having to say goodbye to your animals and shipping them off to another accredited zoo to further their species? And because that's what it was. It's like we had a breeding recommendation here. They were reaching 2 years old. So Crystal was like, I'm not having this with them anymore.
Get out.
Yeah, what is that whole process like for you guys?
The separation actually was really easy because Crystal was kind of like, she's done. She'll let us know. And it's natural at 2 years old for them to kind of move away. So we actually separated them a little bit after 2 years old. And then that went really smooth. And after that, we actually worked on separating the boys just for short terms. And that was just kind of preparing them to leave, to be created separately and then go to their new facility. So I went on maternity leave 2 weeks before they left. So actually a week and a half before they left. So that was really hard, like knowing that they were going to leave and they weren't going to be here when I came back. So we learned that they were going to leave shortly before my maternity leave. So I kind of started passing all my behaviors off on people. Like they need to have other people train them. I worked with them 5 days a week. I worked with them and, they got trained like 5 days a week for me. So it was hard. That was like my whole day was these bears and the seals and sea lions pretty much. And I didn't work so much on the other side with the cheetahs as much at that point. So yeah, it was emotional. Like it was hard, and especially like leaving. Like it was that much harder to leave on maternity leave. It was great because I got a baby out of it. So
I love my kid.
I love my kid. So it was kind of I got a reward out of it, but it was hard. And then not being able to kind of watch them go to that new facility was probably even harder. Just knowing that I didn't get to watch them leave. Especially Kallu, he was really big on like if he was not like when he first got separated from his mom, he kind of sought comfort from his trainers. So like I could just go in there and I could talk to him and then he would calm down and he was like, okay, everything's fine. And then so that they would look for us sometimes for that secondary comfort if mom wasn't there. So
Mom doesn't like me anymore. What's going on?
And that was, even though mom didn't like them. But yeah, so that was hard. It was emotional for me.
Some of the greatest projects we get to do is actually document some of these transports. So if anybody's interested, we documented this entire transport of those two cubs going to St. Louis. And it's a really cool, interesting process. If you guys want to see a little bit of background info on what we're even talking about here, go and watch that video.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And I'm so glad that like our leadership team is so into showing the behind the scenes of how all this stuff works. And Raven, you were a big part of that whole transport.
Yeah.
So what was your role in all of it and what was that like?
Yeah. So, man, that was super cool, sad, all the emotions. The zoo thankfully sent me ahead so I could spend some time with our new bear, Cully, and get to know his team, see how like his behavior is and everything like that. But before I went, I had to make sure our team here, since especially because Ashley was gone, that they knew how to separate the boys and get them ready for their transport. So it was like last minute running around like if you're packing for a trip, because it was like, I got to make sure this entire list is ready to go while I go handle other things. It was super cool. Getting to know Cully was interesting because it's been a long time since we've had a big male bear around. So
He's
I was like,
ginormous.
geez. Yeah. So it's basically like Kallik and Kallu put into one bear and then add a little bit more on top of that.
How much does he weigh?
He's big. I think like 1350.
Wow.
He's a big boy.
That's
for
big bear.
sure. So we kind of go through our normal process of doing a quick checkup on the bears. Then the cubs were loaded up in their separate crates and then put on a truck. And then our vet staff, and I think you Corey, and a couple other people were making their way to St. Louis to meet up with me and their team. to get Kalli. Kalli actually, with their setup, were able to do crate training. So I was a big part of that, which was very unique to see. I've never actually seen crate training done before. So that was kind of neat to watch. So we know how to implement it here at the zoo. But no, he was a rock star. He went into his crate on the final day, I think within like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. So shout out to St. Louis for getting him ready to go for us. Yeah, and then you came around and you documented everything, which was really neat to see. But the day that we unloaded the boys and they came into their new dens was super emotional for me. I'm not usually a crying person in public, but man, as soon as that door closed, I was like, my babies, this is so emotional. And like seeing them in their new space, I was like, man, I'm going to miss these boys. But we were super excited also to get to know Kalli for sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy because both zoos, like, we were trading off these treasured bears.
Yes.
You know, because like with us, it's like, you know, these are our babies. We raised them. The Toledo community loved them. And now they're in St. Louis. And for St. Louis, Kalli, he's a beloved polar bear.
Yeah.
And bringing him here, it was probably hard on both sides for sure.
Absolutely.
But it was great, like, seeing you guys talk with the keepers there. There was a lot of camaraderie, a lot of shared emotion. It's really cool seeing these different teams work together.
And he did such a great job coming here. I was here on the receiving end, and when y'all opened up that truck door, I was like, that's a bear. That is a big boy.
Yeah.
And he did great. You know, you guys were able to get him right in, and his keeper from St. Louis was here and she's like, come on in.
Yeah.
And he immediately started interacting with you guys. So that was just so cool to see. And I think he might make a little guest appearance here shortly.
We'll see.
Making his
if
way.
they'll let us
Yeah.
fall.
The big boy. But how is he doing with Crystal? How are Crystal and Kalli doing so far?
Yeah, no, they're doing great. They're still cohabitating. They do definitely are like, I like my space over here. So sometimes they'll separate themselves and kind of do their own thing. Crystal's real partial to her cave, so she doesn't really like to share that. But Kalli thankfully likes to swim a lot, so he's usually hanging out in the water.
Lady bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's their...
Oh, there he is.
That's Lady
both-
Bear.
There we
That's
go.
Crystal.
Wow.
Cully
He's
makes
coming.
There he is.
There we go. So they know we're bringing them up.
Cully makes Crystal look like a chihuahua.
Yeah.
I was like that. She is so tight. Look at her little butt.
He's over double her size.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
they're so
But what's their
cute.
dynamic like?
Cute.
It's cute. It's cute. But like, I want to know who's the boss.
Yeah.
Crystal.
Exactly.
for
That's what I'm
sure.
trying to say. Like, she's
Yeah.
For sure.
significantly smaller than him, but she's the boss.
Look
Yeah.
at her go.
And thankfully, he's very respectful.
He's a
So
gentleman.
he does. He is. He definitely respects her cues. So if she just kind of politely looks at him a certain way, he's like, "I'm gonna stay over here." But yeah, like it can be subtle cues between them, but he does respect her space, which is really nice. Crystal, this is the third male bear she's been with, so she's also kind of knows how it goes. But yeah, no, they're really good together. And the respect is a big thing. So they've been together. We watch their cues and they kind of tell us when they need to be separated. More so Crystal tells us when she needs to be separated. And we just watch closely with that and kind of wait for those cues.
Excellent.
So the breeding season is over for polar bears, but since they're still doing well together, you just keep them together for that social interactive.
Yep.
Yes.
And it has come up from time to time, Crystal's age. And what we make sure that we're making very clear with the public is that Crystal is examined and evaluated before every breeding season to make sure that she's in tip-top shape to be able to do this, right?
Yep.
And how important is that, like, to us to make sure that she's, you know, capable of being in that type of position?
Yeah, that's top priority.
Yeah.
For sure. And making sure that she's healthy and good to go. She also has the choice. Like, though the bears interact through like what we do are howdy sessions, so they can see each other, smell each other. And then based on that interaction is if we move forward with putting them together. They had positive interaction, so we put them together and she's like, oh, hi, boy. And he's like, hello, ma'am. And, you know, it kind of goes off that. They literally cue each other in what they want to do or what's not going to happen. And she always has the choice to walk away and be like, leave me alone or not. So...
And I guess it's a good reminder too. I think Dr. G said it in the video that it's really good for their psychological health to have the choice to be able to breed or not. And
Absolutely.
that in the wild, regardless of how old they would be, it's not like humans. Like they would be breeding every season if they could in the wild.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What is so important about having polar bears at the Toledo Zoo and in zoos in general is to be ambassador animals for their counterparts in the wild. And right now, polar bears in the wild are really struggling. Can you guys talk to us a little bit about what's going on with their environment and what it is that the bears here at the Toledo Zoo can help provide and what maybe people at home can do to help support the bears in the wild?
Take it away.
I feel like I'm sure you guys are super passionate about this whole ordeal, I'm assuming.
Yeah, for sure. Climate change is a very real thing that's happening. So they're losing the sea ice, and that's how they travel to go hunt, to move to different locations to find food. So they're all struggling with that. And with that also happening with water warming up and things like that, you have their source of food, seals and others, moving along as well. So there, is becoming a little bit of conflict with humans at times, as well as just loss of sea ice. So they're having to swim farther with less food, less energy. So things that we can do to help is like, if you can ride a bicycle instead of taking your car, lessen those gas emissions, turn off electronics or unplug them when you're not using them. There's like quite a few things that help a lot more than you think, because they're so small. But if everyone did it, then it does make a bigger impact. Right now, I believe the Marine Mammal Protection Act is kind of underway of trying to figure out what they're going to do with that. So being aware also helps. These guys are a great reminder of just realizing that not all zoos have polar bears. So we're very fortunate here at the Toledo Zoo that we do have them to showcase how amazing and beautiful they are. So people do continue to care and continue to ask questions and continue to research on their own.
Besides the little things that the everyday person can do, it's also important to just be aware and keep your eyes and ears out and just see in other ways that you can help towards protecting their environment.
Yeah, it's really just staying educated, I think. And that's a great part about coming to zoos and being able to see a polar bear in person and seeing the look on these kids' faces and even adults' faces when they see a polar bear swim up to the glass. Not everybody gets to see that. Like you said, not all zoos have polar bears, but it's so special that you can come to the Toledo Zoo, you can see these amazing bears, and hopefully that sparks an interest and a want to help preserve these animals and animals alike in the wild.
100% agree.
He has a bucket. He's carrying a bucket too.
Aw, he says thanks. He says, I agree. Here's my bucket.
Yeah, when I come,
Who wouldn't want to protect these guys in the wild? It would be so sad if one day, I would love, I want my kids to be able to come see a polar bear at the zoo. And I hope that, with change and people being inspired and, like I said, educated, that, we keep this earth healthy and safe for all the creatures in it.
If people kind of ask why, how does having them here relay back to wild? It's just really inspiring people. A big thing is all those kids. Kallik and Kallu did a great job on that. They were very playful, even from a very young age, with people at the glass. So it just kind of, those core memories that those kids can hopefully take into adulthood and care.
Yeah. That's the big component, is just caring about them and their existence. That's the big thing.
Yeah. Dang. Well, enough about polar bears. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
There can never be enough about polar
bears. We
bears.
could talk for hours about the polar bears, but you guys also take care of some other animals. We'll briefly go over those because we're already at an hour. But we got
Whoops.
So wolves and cheetahs and eagles. Kind of give me a brief synopsis of what it is that you guys do with those guys.
We can start with wolves.
Yeah.
Got the right in between animals. Our wolves tend to be actually, I feel like a crowd favorite.
Really?
Almost like the underdogs. Yeah. They, a lot of kids really take to the wolves. And I don't know if that's just, they can kind of relay it to more home life, just in a larger, wilder version of that. They are not pets. But our wolves are great. We have 2 brothers. We do a lot of our snooze enrichment with them as well. So our snooze groups that stay overnight. A lot of times they'll do enrichment for the wolves and they get to watch it the next day, and kids love it. Our night keepers here actually do a lot of their training. So we've learned over time that the wolves respond a lot better to training when no one's here, guest-wise. So we kind of just changed it for them. So we have great night keepers that actually keep up on their training. They do injection training. They do just the up-to-date training, paws, sit, mouth, and things like that. So that's kind of where working in a zoo, like you can kind of like work with other people to kind of help achieve that ultimate goal. So we work with them in the day, and our night keepers come in, and they might only train for like 15 minutes at night, but they've made huge strides in their training program.
So like they train protective contact, but we are free contact with our wolves, as far as meaning we go into the exhibit with them. That purpose is strictly just to clean the exhibit, get their pool running for the summer, change water fixtures, anything like that, or even place enrichment out just to change it up for them every time.
And they don't really mind you guys being in there. They're kind of like, you do your thing and then you leave.
Pretty much.
We don't encourage interactions.
Yeah, it's like respect their space and then be out.
One way that exhibit's changed a little bit over the years, like when I was a kid visiting, I loved seeing the wolves as well. So you saying that they're so attentive and they pay attention to everybody that's walking by them. So I think that's a part of it as well. But a lot of people, when we first started changing things up in the exhibit, we would let all the plants in there just grow.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, you need to mow that. Like it looks so nasty. Like what's going on? Is people not taking care of that exhibit? But that's actually a really important component for them.
Yeah.
Correct?
Conservation actually seeded that with some natural plants too.
Oh, cool.
Oh, excellent. So it's not just the grasses over.
It's not just grass. Like we've
out
actually had, they've seeded in there. They've also like planted little plants in there that the wolves promptly ripped out of the ground.
Don't like this.
So those didn't really stick. I think like one stuck, but they were like, here's all these plugs. And the wolves just went around afterwards and like plucked one at a time. They didn't like destroy them. They just plucked them out of the ground, left them like a foot next to each hole. And like, well, you tried. But yeah, that actually had to do with, we want to kind of like naturalizing the exhibit, but also it helped with fly control. It kind of sucked up a lot of that excess water. We didn't want it to be like really damp in there. So it actually helped with fly control. These guys do get fly spray just to kind of help mitigate those flies. And they also are trained to have ointment put on their ears if they have any kind of issues with that. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard it from time to time. They're just like, someone needs to cut that grass. And it's like, actually,
intentional.
if you really think about it, it's how things are out in the wild for them. So it's
giving
very
them
natural
habitat.
for them.
yeah. And if you're looking for them and you can't see them, a lot of times from the cabin, you can see inside that tunnel. A lot of times they'll lay in there or right on top of the hill. So kind of like key spots to look is right there. And then like on top of the hill in the middle of the exhibit. So
Cool.
just keep looking. They're there. I promise.
Speaking of animals you can't see.
Our cheetahs.
That was a total joke. But yeah, we should talk about our cheetahs a little bit.
Look at the bushes.
Yeah. I joke about that because the cheetah exhibit's in a really interesting location.
Yeah.
It's surrounded by the zoo train that goes through during the summer. And there is a small, like there's a viewing area where you can see them. It's just that their exhibit's so long that if they're not just like right in that particular spot, you're not always going to see them. Unless if you go on the train, which is an excellent ride. It's a cool way to see that exhibit and the Africa exhibit. But yeah, talk to us a little bit about these cheetahs.
If you're not going on the train, I will say there's that viewing area, the far left side of the train.
Yeah.
If you actually go to like the far right by the train's exit, the cheetahs do lay over there quite a bit.
I feel like that's a secret spot.
It is. It is a secret spot. And I do see people utilizing that spot, but not enough.
Yeah.
Go to the train exit, everyone.
Go to the train exit.
Ride the train and then stay at the exit.
Yeah, so if you're
on
not
the
riding the
outside
train,
if you
because
want.
my kids don't ride the train every time we come here, but I definitely will go over there and just kind of look on that side because they do also watch a little bit of the Africa animals. So they will kind of keep an eye on the gazelles and those guys over there.
Yeah. So tell us about our cheetahs.
They're great.
Who are they? And yeah,
Are they
what's it like?
spicy? They seem spicy.
They're a little spicy.
Yeah.
They each kind of have they have very much their own personalities. And they're all spicy in their own way, but Mr. Owens is very spicy. They're great. They're one of the more rewarding animals I feel to work with and to train. They're intelligent, but you work through like keeping them calm. They're trained for hip injections, so they actually voluntarily get their vaccines every year. We're working on blood draw as well. So we'll actually do that through their tail. That is also protected contact, which means that we don't go in with them. It's all through barriers. So they're actually trained to come up and lay down right along our fence. And then we can actually use a little snake hook to kind of bring their tail out from under the door. And that's how they're used to massaging their tail and everything like that to kind of work up towards blood draws.
Very cool. Do you guys still do behind the scenes tours with the cheetahs as well?
Yeah, so they're still offered. Our education department is actually the ones that go through and give those tours now. But yes, they are still offered.
Very cool. Yeah,
Several
if
days a
anybody's
week.
ever interested, there's a lot of animals that you'd be surprised to see that we have a behind the scenes tour for.
Yeah.
And I was there for one of the cheetah ones a few years ago, and it's a really cool experience.
Yeah.
The
These
cheetahs will just
guys-
come up and
Yeah, and they stay up even, after you're done with your spiel. They usually just lay down. Sometimes they have a cuddle puddle or a group grooming session because who doesn't like to eat fish and then groom your brother?
oh yes, so you can all smell like fish.
I bet they
All the
smell
stuff.
great.
That's
so
a
great.
good point. I didn't even think about the fact that you guys feed out fish to the cheetahs as well.
We
So
do.
a lot of the animals that you guys are caring for eat fish and
Yeah.
smell like fish.
They get the fish because everything else we work with eats fish.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's all vet approved. Like we go through an entire approval process through our vet department to make sure everything that we're giving them is appropriate. So no, they won't naturally find fish in their natural environment. But we have learned that's one of their favorite snacks. Capelin.
The last animal that you guys take care of here on the north side are the bald eagles. Briefly talk to me about those guys because these are rescued bald eagles, correct?
They are. So we have 3 females, Lady Luck, Ottawa, and Mara. And they all live in that exhibit pretty calmly. Mara likes to hang up at the top. Lady is the one that usually is hobbling around on the ground area, kind of in the back. And then Ottawa is our youngest. So she doesn't have a full white head yet. She's getting there. She's growing. But she's our probably, I think, a little bit more interactive one as far as like enrichment, checking out if the keeper's in there. She's kind of like, what are you doing? And she'll come hop around and check things out while we're in there for sure.
Now, bald eagles in zoos, typically bald eagles, they're our national bird. So we can't really keep them in captivity, but they're kind of like that special exception. And why is that?
Yeah, so we got them, like you said, they're rescued, so they cannot be re-released due to an injury or in situations where they just are not going to survive out in the wild. So all 3 of our ladies were wild born, obviously, and then sustained an injury. Ottawa's situation, she was really young and her nest actually blew away during one of our storms. She ended up hurting her wing, and so then a rescue reached out and we were able to add her to our current clutch. And it's the same for Lady and Mara. So yeah, they live here at the zoo. They're ambassadors for the wild eagle population that is thankfully still booming around the parts of Ohio. So
Yeah, I mean, as I was growing up and going through school, I feel like we were always talking about bald eagle conservation. Like that was an active conversation in classrooms. And it's so cool, 2025, these eagle populations are doing very well, very well for themselves. I remember somebody had posted like a map of all the nests that are like in Ohio. And it's really cool to see that our area has like the most amount of eagle nests by far. Super cool.
Yeah.
There's some really great locations for like wetland habitats
Mm-hmm.
that are perfect for birding if you're a big birder.
Oh yeah, birding in Northwest Ohio is
Yeah.
really
Big
big.
thing.
That will be a podcast
That
episode.
will be a
At
podcast.
some
Stay
point.
tuned.
You should.
No birds today, other than
No
eagles.
birds today. Talking bears.
We're talking bears
Actually,
and
yeah.
sea lions and
We're just
pinnipeds.
talking about birds.
A little bit of
No birds, except for the
birds.
eagle.
No birds in this
Just a little
episode.
bit of birds.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we covered all the animals that you guys take care
Yeah.
of, right? Did we
Yeah.
miss anybody?
No, that's
all right.
okay.
We got the flipper friends. We got the fluffy friends.
Feathered
The
friends.
the feathered friends, and the fast friends,
Yes.
Yeah.
including we covered all our bases. All right. So now I think we're going to get into our Zoomies segment. Our first question, as always, do your animals in Arctic get the Zoomies?
Yeah. So going to those flipper friends, they will have Zoomies in the morning, especially where they're just like porpoising out of the water. There's 2 of them that like to play. And sometimes Fritz, our harbor seal, joins into our sea lion play sessions.
Aw.
And that's real cute. He tries. But the other ones are very fast.
He can't keep up.
He can't keep up.
He's short.
But we definitely have some sea lion Zoomies in the morning.
Yeah. I would say sometimes the cheetahs as well. They'll just start randomly just whew. And it's kind of fun because they don't always run. So when you do see them, like I said, they're like whipping it around that exhibit. But that's what's nice about the exhibit being so long and wide is they do have that ability to run if they choose to. I think I've seen the wolves every so often kind of run around
They
too.
They get
chase you
playful.
on your Segway.
Yeah, they are obsessed
Oh.
with my Segway, and I'm
They
assuming
like
like
wheels.
wagons. And, yeah, wheels. What's it with wheels? We were just photographing
fast.
big cats last
He's
night.
like, "I want
and,
that."
Like our cougars, they absolutely love wheels. I don't
Yeah.
get what it is.
Yeah.
I look like a fool on that Segway, but it is fun
Yes.
to have the wolves chase me on.
We'll insert a clip of Corey.
No, we're not going to be doing that.
Please do.
Can we
I
like
will.
book you for like 5 minutes for enrichment session?
Right.
That'd be
Going
fun.
back and forth.
That would be fun.
They do recognize my car and Raven's car as well. So if we
Really?
do our nighttime checks and if we drive to the other side, the cheetahs especially, they see our car from afar and they get perked up and they'll start running around.
That's
Wow.
fun.
That's
Yeah.
it.
You ever seen a polar bear get zoomies?
The boys used to get zoomies
Yeah, just
quite a
kids.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Younger ones.
daycare, especially, they would get zoomies.
I loved when they throw their enrichment from the top
Yes.
and they would just keep going. They're
Yep.
like, I'm gonna play fetch with myself. This is
Yeah.
great.
It was so intentional. Like they would gather the stuff, take it to the top, throw it off,
Yeet
and do
it
it over
off.
and over again.
Yeah,
Yeah. Very
yeah.
intentional.
Nice.
Very
All right.
cool.
So our first official Zoomie question is, I learned this. Polar bears don't drink water. Explain, please. What do you mean they don't drink water?
So yeah, they naturally don't drink water in the wild. So they get their hydration through fish. So when they're eating their fish or like if in the wild they're eating seal or whatever else, that water
All the blubber.
hydration is all through that blubber. But here at the zoo, sometimes our polar bears will drink water.
So
I
they're
guess-
offered it here.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because like up there it's all sea ice, so they
Yep.
don't really have access to that
The
fresh
ice and
water.
salt water.
Very cool.
Salty
I
water.
never
Salty
thought about
water.
that. Really quick question.
I'd be like SpongeBob. I'd be like, "Ugh."
the water in this exhibit, is it salt water? Is it
It
fresh water?
is.
Oh, it is salt
I
water.
don't think I really thought about that.
No.
Okay, cool. So like we have a whole system that's in the back that actually
Yes.
maintains all this, correct?
Yeah. They're actually, so our seal pool and our bear pools are actually two different systems.
Wow.
Yeah. We actually have a more elevated salt concentration for our seals in opposed to our sea lions.
I don't think I
Or
really I
our
don't think I
bears.
knew that definitively about our polar bear exhibit.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it's temperature controlled, right?
Mhm.
Very
Yeah.
nice,
They're
right?
both on chillers.
Very nice.
Chillers.
Yeah.
That's true
On the
because it can
chillers.
get a little hot here in the summers. And besides, constant access that you guys are giving to these bears on really hot days, but they also have they have ways of cooling down,
Yes.
basically, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Our next Zoomies, cheetahs have built-in sunglasses. So you're telling me that cheetahs are just wearing Ray-Bans all the time?
They're stylish.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen them?
They do look pretty cool.
They-
But explain,
they're
like,
pretty
where are
slick.
their
Sleek.
sunglasses?
Yeah, so like they have these black stripes right down here by their faces. It kind of helps like blocking the sun, kind of like a quarterback, like a football player, how they
Oh,
wear
yeah.
black to kind of help with that reflection from the sunlight. Same
Okay.
situation.
I want to know if that was the exact inspiration for starting to do that. It has to
Probably.
be.
It
right?
could be.
It has to
Probably.
be.
I mean, they have fantastic vision. They can see like 3 miles away. So it super
Dang.
helps.
Wow.
Okay.
My last Zoomie question, how much fish do you guys feed out a day? And does it stink back there?
We're nose blind. I'm gonna tell you that right now. When people come in, they're like, "This smells terrible." I'm like, "I wouldn't know. It all smells fine to me."
Yeah.
Going to meetings, sometimes like we can smell Africa. I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
Africa can smell themselves,
I don't think they can.
but like they're
They
also
stink.
like it smells fishy, and we're like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't realize that." We're definitely nose blind to all the smells that are Arctic. So our fish consumption it changes by season. So our sea lions, especially, gosh, right now is 80 pounds of fish a day between our animals, and
Wow.
our eagles get fish 3 days a week. So you can add in that. They just get a different kind of fish.
Mhm.
So yeah.
And is it a bunch of different types of fish?
In a given day, so usually, it's usually 3 different kinds of fish, but we also have other kinds of fish that we can add in for enrichment. But our primary diet between our marine mammals are going to be herring and capelin.
Herring and capelin.
Yep, but we also have trout and then a bunch of random other
Yeah.
little kinds of fish
Do
that
you
we
guys
can add for
ever
enrichment.
put live fish in here for enrichment for the bears?
Oh, we do. Yeah, it doesn't go in this pool. We actually use our freshwater stream. If
Oh.
people ever notice, on the far end of our freshwater stream, there's actually like a PVC tube that goes out to the outside of the exhibit. We can actually put live fish into our freshwater stream from outside while the bears are already in there, or we can put fish in there before we
That's
let them out
great.
for the
Do
day.
the bears enjoy that?
They do.
Yeah.
How often are you guys doing that?
It's kind of at random.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do take care of a live tank, a very large tank of tilapia. So
Yummy.
tilapia.
I want to do that.
That
with
is
the
their
brown
current
bears, too.
fish.
Yeah.
I want to have like live fish, live trout in the brown bear pool and just like
I feel like Dodge
tearing
would-
up a fish. in
Dodge
front
would
of
be
the glass.
scared.
That's true too.
He does actually get the tilapia. Just last week, we gave some fish over. Our wonderful interns picked up a bucket of live fish to take
Live?
over to them. Yep,
Oh, great.
We're
Okay.
gonna have
Yeah.
to-
Cool.
it does happen on occasion.
Yeah, I think people really like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's what's the public perception of that, feeding out live animals, but like it's very stimulating for these animals. I would
Mhm.
assume.
We do
And-
take into account if the bears try to just like take the fish out and leave them there, then we won't keep doing it. Yeah.
Oh, so you actually
we do.
monitor
Yeah.
it and
Yes.
make
Yeah. We do
sure-
have a welfare. Like we do make sure that the fish aren't being tortured. It's thankfully really quick for our bears. Like they grab them and they eat them. Yeah. If it was the other way, then we wouldn't keep doing it just because
That's not fair.
I talk to those fish every time I feed them.
She does.
So
You're just like coaching them into what's coming.
I don't catch them out. I make
usually
Raven do
catch
it because I can't. Like they had some of them had names and
That's not good.
I have to torment
That's like when a
myself.
farmer starts naming its chickens and it's over.
I have chickens. I don't eat them though. If they can have names, I talk
out
I
the
talk to my
fish.
chick. I talk to the fish. I really do.
She talks to them when
They
she feeds.
recognize you. I promise. I go in there, fishies, and they all come. Yeah.
They're like,
where
this,
the fish are?
this
Are the
lady's
fish,
crazy.
So they're
back
actually
there
in
with
our life support building. So the building that has all of our filtration.
Okay,
So yeah, the
okay.
life support. So,
So you guys
yeah.
are actually seeing them like almost on the daily.
Oh,
every
every
day.
day. Every day.
We
We,
make
feed
sure-
them, we feed them every day. We check on
Wow.
them every day. Maintenance also checks on them and they take care of the water quality and everything.
This is just getting more and more.
Who
funny.
knows? Maintenance might talk to them too. I wouldn't fault them. I do it every day.
I'm sure I'm their alien monster since I'm
Yeah.
the one who has to catch them.
She's a scary one.
I really like hearing that though. Even our live feed animals get that top-notch care until they, serve out their purpose. But
By Raven.
but even you guys monitoring like the feed session itself is really cool.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
I like
we
knowing about that.
like every time they get fed, we also watch them to make sure that they're eating all their food because we want to make sure that they maintain good water quality. So we don't overfeed them. Much like if you had a fish tank at home, we're not going to just dump a bunch of food in there. So that's my excuse for my quality time with the fish.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some questions from our viewers.
Our viewers. Yeah. So our first question is, how cold does the Arctic encounter have to stay for the bears?
Maybe when we're talking about this, we're talking about the pool temperature water,
Okay.
or maybe
Yeah.
like inside. I don't know if you guys have
Yeah.
done
What's the
temperatures.
temperature?
It's cold inside.
Raven makes fun of me because I literally will have it like at mid 50s inside if I can. And Raven's like, I'm freezing. This needs to end. So usually our inside building temps right around 60, 65. We keep the air conditioning nice and cold. And the cave on exhibit is also air conditioned. So that's our kind of out of water spaces. Yeah, you can talk about water if you want.
Yeah, water usually doesn't go higher than maybe like 65, 68 on a super hot day. But along with that, that's why we offer those cool spaces for our bears. Also with ice enrichment or anything that we can do to offer them those places to get chilled.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it's freezing in Arctic holding. I usually am wearing
You
a
got
hoodie.
icicles coming down from your
Yeah,
nose.
no, I'm wearing a hoodie. I'll throw in some sweatpants over these shorts if I have to, because then we're going outside, during the sea lion shows and it's hot. So it's very back and forth temperatures.
You should just come in on a day and take a picture of us on lunch because we will have like winter hooded jackets and
Oh,
we're
that's
just
Like
sitting in our
minus 90
chairs.
degrees outside. What's going on?
That's funny.
I'll forget sometimes to take my sweatshirt out for sea lion feed. So I'm sure people think we're crazy because we're doing a sea lion show in like 90-degree weather in hoodies because we regret our decision of going out in a hoodie and you can't just take it off at that point.
Nice.
No.
So you're just
Pause.
training sea lions in 90-degree weather in a hoodie because you made poor decisions.
The life of a zookeeper.
Yeah.
Fun. Our next question is from Evan. What is a polar bear's favorite food or snacks? So do our bears have a favorite snack here?
Man. Crystal, yes. Cully, I haven't figured it out yet. Have you?
Not so much for him. For like training and stuff, we actually feed it with his diet because he's just very food motivated. So you give him carrot sticks. We just cut carrots into little sticks and he's like, yes, this is great. Thank you. Crystal, she loves dried seaweed. Yeah, that's one of her tops along with tuna. She'll jump through some hoops for some
She
tuna.
likes Japanese food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give her
She's
a
got
nice
great taste.
sushi roll.
Well, I know Cully, he trains with honey water, right?
Yeah.
It's so cute to see him train with honey water.
Yes.
He does really like honey water. He likes everything.
He does.
He's not really picky, which is very nice.
Yeah.
So you can offer, countless
Anything.
things to
Mm-hmm.
kind of train or even just to bond with him. And he's just like, I just like seeing your face and eat this food. And I'm like, thanks, Cully.
That's what I've gathered is that Cully seems like a people person.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does
Male
enjoy
polar bears.
Yeah. It
All the
seems like
all the males we've had, they're more people oriented.
I see you guys work with these bears. These bears really do enjoy working with you. They're very attentive to you. But at the same time, it's also the most dangerous animal that we have here at the zoo. And it's because polar bears in the wild are known for not really having a problem with eating people,
Yeah.
correct?
If you think of their environment, there's not a lot there's not a lot going on. So, you get some white tundra and just sea ice. Like, they can smell really far away. But if you think about it, there's not a lot to smell in their natural environment. But also coming upon a person is going to be a little bit different and opposed to, like, say, a brown bear that lives in more of an environment that has a lot of stimulus, a lot more living things.
The polar bear is like, oh my gosh, there's a human out here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, food.
I'm gonna get this human.
I'm gonna eat this human. Yeah.
They are the apex predator in that situation. So
Yeah.
Do not approach polar bear.
They do recognize certain people, so they do train better for some people and opposed people they don't see very often. So they definitely recognize who their people are. And when you become Crystal's person, you've reached the top.
yeah,
You've made it.
you have to earn her respect and love for sure.
That's
Is she
cool.
like the boss when it comes to like
Oh,
your
yeah.
guys' relationship?
It's probably like Renee over with elephants.
That's
Like,
what I'm
she's
getting.
the boss, and you have to gain her trust and gain her
Yeah.
respect.
But once you get it, it's a high award.
It is. I will say that. I agree with that for sure. The boys are a little bit more like, you feed me sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
You can buy their love.
You can pretty much.
They're like,
but,
children.
animals like Crystal, they are probably the most rewarding just because you do have to like build that bond and that respect. So it makes it 10 times more worth it because it's like, I want it for people.
Yeah, it's great.
Nice. Our last question is from Ron. We kind of went over this already, but can the polar bears see people when they are in their cave with a glass partition?
Yep.
So they can see us?
She knows you're there. If it's usually Crystal in the cave, she knows.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think she enjoys like people watching?
She kind of ignores people quite a bit. Like I said, if you're not her person, she's a little less interested. She sees you though, and sometimes she'll acknowledge you. I have pictures of my kids when they're sitting on that little window ledge, and she'll look right at people and she'll people watch a little bit.
She's like, okay, I like Ashley. I guess these are Ashley's kids. All right.
One of my kids looks just like me, so she's like, yes, Ashley's offspring. I know you.
Ashley's offspring.
Literally just a clone, just tinier.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on the
Thanks for
podcast
having
with us.
us.
We really enjoyed talking with you. It's been really cool to learn just a little bit more about what's going on behind the scenes with all your animals. And I hope that everybody else has enjoyed this time with you as well.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Thank you guys for having us.
Yes, thank you very much for having us.
Of
We've
course.
enjoyed it.
Good. I'm glad. Another dynamic duo on the podcast.
Thanks.
Yeah, you guys are so cute together. And to show our appreciation, I don't know if you guys have seen other episodes, but we like to make posters for our keepers. Miss Raven, you have not attended our headshot sessions for all employees, so
I
we
was
had to
very
get.
surprised.
I'm usually not even here.
How have you
We
avoided
had to
it?
get a little creative with Ravens, but here, this one's for you. So we've got the chill enforcer.
Aw.
Is that Spike?
It's Spike.
You're training Spike in the
I
Arctic.
love it.
Yep.
That is adorable.
And Ashley, you are the frost boss.
The Frost
The
Boss.
Frost
Thank you.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
And
love it.
This polar bear has definitely got your back.
Yeah,
that's
not
definitely
about
Crystal.
to maul you.
that's Crystal.
That's
Crystal's
definitely
my bear.
Yeah. So if you
I love
guys
it.
we will ask you to sign these.
Oh,
so you can put them
thank
on our
you.
Hall of Fame.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and we will have a copy for you to take home and put on your fridge to show your family and be like, look how famous I am.
Yep. While we're busy selling these on eBay.
Yep. If you want them, starting at $1,000.
Starting there.
Yep.
It all goes towards the bears.
Hefty.
Quick, run away.
Run away, yes. All right. And before we close things out today, we just want to talk about a few fun events that are coming up here at the Toledo Zoo. We always have something going on for every
Always.
single person. The first thing that is coming up, we have Zen at the Zoo. There is a Pure Bar session with our brown bears coming up on August 3rd. So Pure Bar is like ballet plus yoga plus like strength. And I feel like that just encompasses our bears. Like they're flexible, they're strong.
There's a lot of zen that happens with bears.
There
too, I
is.
think.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun, if you like yoga, if you like Pure Bar exercising, come on out to that event. Again, it is August 3rd. Tickets are limited. Make sure you get those ASAP. We also have another yoga session with our elephants August 16th. That's a fun one where you can do yoga poses with our elephants. They kind of do their own stretching. We also have our Wild About Art Fair coming up August 9th and 10th. This is one of my favorite events. I'm actually wearing last year's shirt.
Oh, nice. Represent.
Yeah, it's really fun. These will be on sale again this year. We're going to have some of our photo prints on sale this year.
That will be very
Come
exciting.
on out and
We're
support
offering
us.
a massive variety of photo prints. If you have a favorite animal, come get your photo print.
Mhm. There'll be polar bears. There'll be sea lions. There will be cheetahs. Everything you can think of.
Anything you can think of, we'll be selling it.
Yeah, so you guys better be there. And then another great thing about this fair is that there's over like 80 vendors. set up all around the south side of the zoo for a big art fair. And it's so cool to just see the variety of artwork that people are creating. And then we also have our animal artists. We'll have painting demos throughout the zoo with different animals, elephants, red pandas, lemurs, tortoises, you name it. They'll be out here creating their own art, which will then be on sale.
I feel like our team does such a good job with that event because even when they're going through choosing which vendors are getting in, because we get so many applications every year, they always make sure there's such a wide variety of things that are being offered. So don't think that it's just going to be one type of thing that you're going to pick up from that event. There's going to be all kinds of different art that you can choose from and take a look at and really kind of connect with all these amazing, talented people in the region.
Yeah, that's where I do my Christmas shopping, honestly. I'm like, okay, my mom's going to like that. My dad's going to like that. So yeah.
It's a good idea.
We also have Twilight Evenings still going on throughout the summer where you guys can come out on Wednesdays and Thursdays for extended zoo hours, half price admission, and just enjoy the zoo during the golden hours.
My
and
favorite
when it gets
time.
a little less hot outside.
That would be my preferred time to visit is in those evening hours. And the animals are still active, correct?
Yeah.
Well, you heard it from them first. You can still see the animals.
It's facts.
Facts.
They said it. They can't take it back now. And last but not least, we have our Bug Fest, August 23rd. Not everyone likes bugs, but I highly encourage everyone to come out, see the wide variety of arthropods and insects that we have here at the Toledo Zoo and gain a better appreciation for them.
All right, and that's where we're going to wrap things up. Again, thank you so much for listening to Our Herd, the Toledo Zoo official podcast. Now, remember, we're streaming this on multiple platforms. So you may have listened to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, but we also have a video version of this podcast on YouTube. If you haven't watched that before, definitely tune in. It's a really fun watch. And this setup was in front of the polar bear exhibit. We had Crystal and Cully swimming by us. That was a lot of fun. So definitely come back and watch that if you had missed it. Caitlin and I are always driving ourselves crazy with all the content that we're creating for everybody to enjoy. You can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. This week that we're recording this was Zookeeper Week. So we did a video for every single day highlighting various zookeepers around the zoo. One of the most fun times for us.
Yeah, happy Zookeeper Week,
Happy
you guys.
Zookeeper Week,
Thank
guys.
you. We appreciate everything that you guys do.
So please, everybody, give those videos and posts a lot of love. They definitely deserve it. And so does the Toledo Zoo. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Woo! We made it. We
Yes.
survived.
You guys did so good.
We did. I was kidding.